Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you've been enjoying the series of videos that we've been doing, and today we are here to cover a very exciting development in the Middle East, and that is the launch of a homegrown department store called DAT. So DAT is actually a concept from Majid Al Futtaim. They are basically a player of malls, and they've been in the mall business. That is their forte, that is their expertise. And over the years, they've recruited some high-profile retailers to join them. One of them was Rajiv Suri, who used to head up their fashion division, who was instrumental in bringing Abercrombie and Fitch, Hollister, and All Saints to their portfolio. And the latest entrant was Shireen Al Khatib, who's been basically a legend in Middle Eastern retail. She was instrumental in turning Altair into a luxury juggernaut and grew that business, the Altair luxury insignia business, into what it is today. So while we are talking about that concept, we have to understand that there are certain key players who have wealth of experience behind them who've created this concept, and that's what I'm here to talk about. So when you talk about department stores, you know that department stores are a dime a dozen. I have done a lot of videos on department stores. And what makes you think that this concept called DAT is going to succeed? So let's look at some of the key parameters when you talk about retail. The first one being location. So when you talk about location, DAT is located in Mall of Emirates, so it is a no-brainer. You are located in the best mall in the country as far as UAE is concerned. So you're guaranteed a certain foot traffic. That is around the high net worth Barsha area. So you can expect a lot of influx of the rich, wealthy resident customers to come in over there. Non-local residents too, the Arabs that surround that mall. And then you have a little bit of tourism now that some of the borders have opened up. So you are guaranteed a certain base of customers. So did they get the location right? Absolutely. Mall of Emirates is one of the best malls, and you've opened a 50,000 square feet designer concept store, one of its kind in the Middle East, with a variety of services. So you got your first element right, which is the location. Another thing which is very interesting is that one of the most burdening elements on a P&L of a department store is its rent. And if you think about it, Majid Al Futtaim owns that mall. So while they will have a rent, but a notional version of rent on their P&L, the reality is it's like taking money from your pant pocket and putting it in your shirt pocket. You actually have no rent to pay because it is your own space. So there's another plus there. Now brings you to the most important thing, which is the brands. Historically, when you look at it, you see these big US and UK luxury department stores that have opened up. So you've got examples like Bloomingdale's. You have Saks, which exited the Middle East. You've got a Harvey Nichols. They are surrounded by the top 5 designers. They are actually the key to the footfall in your store. So when you talk about the top luxury companies in the UAE, they are already spoken for. And that's Chalhoub Group and that's Altair. Between them, they control about 90% of the luxury market. And if you're trying to compete with them, you're going to lose. So the first thing is that, can you get those brands to enter your department store? The answer is no, because those brands are already very much there, present in various malls and various formats, and I think that it's no longer luxury because it's so freely available. Now what do you have left with you? You have a list of other designers that don't necessarily make up a large portion of the business in a luxury department store, and these are the designers that they've actually included in their matrix. When I was going through the brands that they carry, I have to be honest, 90% of them I've never heard of in my life, and I've been in the luxury business for quite a while. So what I say is that the top 20 brands in luxury is already been spoken for. What you're dealing with is the bottom tier. Now you might say that, okay, they're dealing with the bottom tier, so they don't have a point of view. And I think this is where the debate lies now. When I went through the brand matrix, they have a healthy presence of local designers, people from the region. And I think that is what is different. when you look at the brand matrix and you're talking about hyper personalization, you're looking at community, you're looking at your immediate surroundings. These are the types of designers who will mobilize their fans, their friends, their family, and the community that patronizes them to get to that store, to visit it, and to patronize it and hopefully buy from it. And I think that is a differentiated point of view. I think Majid Al Futtaim has taken a risk definitely by opening this concept. It is relatively new. Everyone talks about experience, and I think definitely this store is going to give a lot of experience to a consumer and something that was not available in the UAE. But will it work is another question. What are the determinants to make sure that that concept works? So of course, like any other department store, the brand matrix is going to evolve. There's going to be a lot of learning. But I think they've taken a good risk in a way that they have a lot of designers that are relatively new to the region. They're banking a lot on the local talent that is there. So they're using that store as an incubator for these brands. You never know, they may be launching one of the Elisabs that we've not heard of, for example. So I think it's very exciting times. Majid Al Futtaim is one group that definitely puts their money where their mouth is. It is a gamble. Let's not forget that it is a gamble. But let's wait and watch and see how this concept, or rather that concept, evolves over the coming years. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned and I'll see you at the next. Thank you.